Good day, everyone. Our topic for today is ethical frameworks. So, without a framework, our moral decisions are based on a gut feelings which are often biased, inconsistent, or influenced by the last thing we saw on the news. So, ethical framework as mental models. So, you will study it so it will be your guide for your decision on a situation you are facing. So they don't tell us what to think. They provide a structured way of how to think. So using a framework ensures that we treat similar situations with similar logic, which is the foundation and integrity. Our learning objectives for today are to identify and define the three primary normative ethical theories: deontology, utilitarianism, and virtue ethics. So we should apply different ethical frameworks to contemporary moral issues. For example, euthanasia, environmental ethics, or business practices. Then you will compare and contrast how a religious believer using natural law or divine command and a secular humanist using utilitarianism might arrive at different conclusions for the same dilemma. And you will analyze the strengths and weaknesses of each framework. For example, the tyranny of the majority, utilitarianism versus the inflexibility of deontology. First, we will introduce what is an ethical framework. So it is defined as a structured method or set of rules used to determine the morality of an action. And the lens metaphor explains that different frameworks act like different pairs of glasses. They change how we view of a problem and what we see as the correct outcome. The goal is to find a consistent, rational, and navigate moral dilemma. So the major framework is the deontology. That's duty-based. What is the core idea? Actions are inherently right or wrong, regardless of the consequences. So the key philosopher of that is Immanuel Kant. What is his concept? The categorical imperative, act only according to that maxim, whereby you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law. So religious link often aligns with divine command theory, the Ten Commandments or Sharia law. Major framework 2 is utilitarianism. It's result-based. The core idea, the greatest good for the greatest number, the outcome utility justifies the means. The key philosophers are Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill. The key concept, consequentialism. If an action results in the most happiness and the least suffering, it is the moral choice. The challenge, does this allow for the sacrifice of a minority for the benefit of the majority? Major framework 3 is the virtue ethics, so it is character based. Ethics is about what we do, but who we are. The key philosopher is Aristotle. What is his key concept? The golden mean, finding the balance between two extremes. Example, courage is the mean between cowardice and recklessness. The religious link, many religions focus on cultivating fruits of the spirit of enlightenment to naturally act morally. If you compare these three, we have the trolley problem application. How would each framework solve the classic dilemma of a runaway trolley? So in the deontology, the rule, killing is wrong. I will not touch the lever. In utilitarianism is the math. Save 5 lives by sacrificing one. Pull the lever. So virtue ethics is the character. what would a compassionate, brave person do? So, introduction to ethical thinking, the hope. We make thousands of decisions of the day, but how many of them are grounded in a consistent logic? So, ethical frameworks aren't just rules, they are the lenses through which we view right and wrong. What is our objective? So, today we aren't looking for one correct framework, but rather a toolkit to help us navigate complex dilemmas where there is no easy answer. Consequentialism is utilitarianism. This is the math of ethics. The moral worth of an action is determined solely by its outcome. So the greatest good for the greatest number. It's pragmatic and efficient for policy making, and public health is the advantage. So what is the pitfall? It can lead to the tyranny of the majority, where the rights of an individual are sacrificed for the sake of the group. So let's discuss deontology, the duty-based ethics. So associated heavily with Immanuel Kant, this framework argues that some actions are inherently right or wrong, regardless of the consequences. So the categorical imperative, ask yourself, if everyone in the world did what I am about to do, would society still function? So the pro is it provides clear, unwavering moral lines and protects individual rights. The pitfall, it can be rigid. Example, if a murderer asks where your friend is, a strict deontologist might argue what lying is still wrong. So Kant categorical imperative, Immanuel Kant is the heavyweight champion of the framework anyway. He proposed the categorical imperative as a litmus test for any action. So, universality, sorry class. Ask yourself, would I want the rule I am following to become a universal law that everyone must follow? If the answer is no, example, if everyone stole, the concept of property would collapse. Then the action is immoral. While humanity as an end, you must never treat people merely as a means to an end. Every human being has intrinsic worth and should not be used as a tool to achieve a goal. So let's discuss the virtue ethics by Aristotle. So shifting the focus from actions to character. Instead of asking, what should I do? We ask, what kind of person should I be? So the golden mean, Aristotle argued that virtue lies in the balance between two extremes. Example, courage is the midpoint between cowardice and recklessness. So the pro, it encourages long-term personal growth and habits. The pitfall, it can be vague. It doesn't give you a specific rule book for a crisis. On the other hand, moral relativism. So this framework argues that there is no universal objective moral standard that applies to all people at all times. What is the core concept? Moral relativism is the view that ethical judgments are relative to a specific standpoint, such as a culture, a historical era, or an individual's personal beliefs. The no judge rule. According to this framework, no one has the objective authority to say one's culture morality is superior to another's. So the key phrase, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Is there any single action that is wrong in every single culture? In every single time period? So most people will say killing, but you can challenge them by bringing up self-defense, war, or capital punishment. So this highlights how even universal rules are often interpreted relatively. Let's move on to the natural law. It suggests that there is an objective moral order woven into the fabric of the universe. So the design argument, just as gravity is a physical law that we must obey, natural law claims there are moral laws that are just as real. So the source is historically associated with Saint Thomas Aquinas. Through its roots go back to Aristotle and the Stoics. It suggests that because God or nature created us with a specific purpose, fulfilling that purpose is good. What about divine command theory, or DCT? Is the most straightforward of the ethical frameworks, but it also carries the most intense philosophical tension. It moves the conversation from human reason or nature directly to the will of higher power. The core logic in this framework, good is literally defined by what God commands, and evil is defined by what God forbids. The source of authority. Morality doesn't come from human logic, social contracts, or feelings. It is an objective set of rules handed down by a being or by a divine being. The why. Why is stealing wrong? Not because it hurts society, utilitarianism, or violates a universal logic, the deontology, but simply because God says so. So I will ask you, class, if your religion's holy book commanded something that felt deeply wrong to your God, like harming an innocent, which would you follow? The command or your conscience? This helps the audience realize, or this helps you realize the weight of absolute obedience. So the dilemma. So imagine the following situation. There are A, B, C, D, E, F. So how would you respond to that? So a true dilemma occurs when you are forced to choose between two competing rights or the lesser of two evils. What is the conflict? It's not a choice between being good or bad. It's a choice between two values you hold dear, like honesty versus loyalty or justice versus mercy. So what is the weight? Unlike a simple mistake, a dilemma leaves you with moral residue, the feeling that even though you made a choice, something valuable was still lost. So a while ago, you read the dilemma. So if you will to decide, if your option A, it's utilitarianism. What is the key philosophy? Prioritizing the greatest good, saving lives over a minor rule. That's lying. B. Deontology. Kant's categorical imperative duty to the truth is absolute. While C. Virtue ethics. Aristotelian focus on being compassionate or brave. While relativism, morality is based on cultural norms or a specific societal context. The natural law, Aquinas, focus on preserving life and ordered society. And the divine command, morality dictated directly by a higher power or religious text. So your ethical framework, let's find out which ethical framework you most closely align with based on how you answer the previous dilemma. If you chose A, you might be a consequentialist and probably focus on outcomes to get the best result. If you choose B, you might be a deontologist and believe rules or duties matter more than the outcome. If your option is C, you might follow virtue ethics and try to act with good character and intention. While D, you might be a moral relativist and think right and wrong depend on culture or context. On the other, you might follow natural law and believe reason and human purpose guide what is right. And you might follow divine command theory and see morality as directed by God. So bringing it together, these six frameworks all aim to answer the same question. What is the right thing to do? But they approach it from very different directions. One person's moral compass might come from reason, another's from duty, character, or faith. There isn't necessarily one perfect framework. In real life, people often draw on several, depending on the situation. Recognizing these frameworks help us to understand our own moral insight and respect others' perspective. Now let's proceed to the X-Man challenge. Why Kant says you can't lie. So this is a fascinating point in the presentation because it highlights the most controversial part of Kant's deontology. Most people instinctively choose option A, utilitarianism, but Kant famously argued for option B, the truth. So we can have a debate for that. So if the natural choice, most of you likely look at the dilemma on the screen and chose option A. You thought I'd lie because saving lives is more important than being honest. So this is utilitarianism, the idea that the good is defined by the outcome. On the other hand, introducing the radical alternative, the Kantian flip. So but now, look at the option B. I tell the truth because lying is always wrong. No matter the outcome, this sounds heartless, right? But this but his was the position of Immanuel Kant, one of the history's most influential philosophers. So let's explain Kant's logic, the why. Kant argues that if you lie, you are actually trying to control a future you can't predict. If you tell the truth, you have fulfilled more your moral duty. If the soldiers then commit a crime, they are the ones doing evil, not you. By lying, you become a partner in the chaos. So what's the provocation here? I will ask you class. So here's the question for the room. If we start making exceptions to the rule like don't lie or don't kill based on what we think will happen, does morality just become a matter of opinion? Or is a truth only a rule if it's followed even when it is difficult? Now let's compare the ethical frameworks we discussed earlier. So the consequentialism, the outcome or result of an action, that's the core focus. View on the dilemma, lie to save lives because the result is better. So the key driver, outcomes or results. So it's based on the outcomes. While the ontology, the core focus is rules, duties, and obligations. Tell the truth because lying is always wrong regardless of the result. So this is based on the rules and duties. While virtue ethics, the character and intention of the person, act as good, compassionate person would act. So it will be based on the character and or intentions. Moral relativism. The focus is cultural norms and a specific context. You will decide based on what your specific culture or beliefs dictate. So it is based on the culture context. Natural law, the focus is human purpose and rational order. You will act in a way that fulfills human purpose and reason. So this is reason-based or purpose-based. While divine command, they will or commands of a deity. View on the dilemma, follow what God reflects or commands you do. So this is faith or based on God. To wrap up the presentation, these are the key takeaways. Act as a mental cheat sheet for your class. So these notes are designed to help how you will consolidate everything you've learned and apply it to your professional life. So the lenses metaphor, it reminds the U class that no single framework is a silver bullet. Ethics is about using the right lens for the right problem. So what is the contrast? For revision, focus on the conflict points. If you value the result, you are a utilitarian. If you value the rule, you are a deontologist. If you value the person, you are a virtue ethics. So what's our question when struck on a case study? So you asked, what are the consequences teleological? What are my duties? While on the deontological side, what kind of person does this make me? Based on our lesson, you will have your reflection activities. So before you head out today, please choose at least one reflection activity from this slide. Complete it as your exit ticket and submit your response to me. So revisit the opening dilemma. Which response, A to F, feels most like your own? Has it changed after learning about the frameworks? Choose two that would give opposite answer to the dilemma we discussed earlier. Explain its reasoning in which one you find more convincing. And write a journal response about a time when you face a moral choice. Which ethical framework do you think guided you and why? So how you will tackle an ethical case study to identify the dilemma. Is it right versus right or right versus wrong? Who is affected? This helps the utilitarian side of your brain. The red lines, are there any laws or moral rules being broken? This satisfies the deontologist. While the mirror test, can you look at yourself in the mirror after his choice? This is the virtue test. So in the final decision, state your choice and most importantly, justify it using the terminology we've covered today. So to conclude, integrity over perfection. In ethics, you might not always find the perfect answer, but using these frameworks, you ensure your decisions are defensible and consistent. So for your revision, try to apply 3 different frameworks on a single news story this week. See how the correct answer changes depending on which hat you are wearing. So the goal we study ethics not to win arguments, but to live more intentional lives. So to assess if you learned something in this lecture, we will be having our online quiz next meeting. And you will have your activity. Please follow our templates and refer to the Google Classroom. And after you did your activity, your documentation, be ready for the presentation. These are my references. You can read it if you want to and refer to that if you wanted to read more. And thank you class for listening, and I hope you will learn, and you will be guided by this ethical framework to decide of the situation that you are facing. Thank you, class.